So I'm sitting here with Kate Clugston from Shambhala House of Yoga in Waverton, and we are talking yoga biz. Kate is a very new yoga teacher, which is one of the reasons I'm so impressed by what she's managed to do in a very short time period. 8 months, is that right?
Yeah, I started in February, so it's December now. Yeah, 10 months, I guess. Yeah.
10 months, okay. So you graduated in July last year.
Yeah.
From Sukhamukha Yoga in Bronte.
Yeah.
And walk me through the next few steps of what you did.
Yeah, so after graduating, a lot of the teachers, we were all saying, oh, we don't feel quite ready to teach, and everyone sort of wanted to stay in touch, and we talked about maybe continuing to practice with each other and taking turns to teach, and I offered my living room up, so there was about 5 of us who got together, and we would just take turns each week teaching a class, and it was a very safe, comfortable environment because we knew each other. We'd been through teacher training for the last 6 months, and we gave each other feedback, really honest feedback. We focused a lot on adjustments and the stuff that we felt less confident with, and we would have brunch afterwards, and so it was nice. It was community and friends and getting ourselves more comfortable to take that next step.
Yep, fantastic. Yeah. So with a bit of experience under your belt, what happened after that?
So after teaching, with my fellow yoga teacher training teachers, I started teaching my friends and family and started inviting people around and going, hey, I've just graduated from yoga, come and do yoga brunch with me on Sunday. And so I wasn't charging people anything, just said bring something to share for brunch. And so we did yoga, and then we would have some food afterwards, and so that was the next logical step, to teach people who were familiar and who were supportive of me. And so at the point, when I was ready to teach a stranger, it would be less confronting.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And then I also had this idea of teaching yoga at a co-working space in the city, Hub Sydney, and kind of bringing yoga into a space where people might not normally access yoga, but I felt like the community really needed yoga. People, like mostly entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs who are working really hard and who are really driven, and to have yoga in their own working space to just check out for an hour, go and have a stretch during lunch. I thought that was something that there was a need there, and so I wanted to offer that. So I created a little series, just a 5-day series called Yoga for Change, and it was focusing on yoga for change makers, so theming the classes alongside topics from yoga philosophy that would inspire and motivate change makers, so they would kind of get a bit of inspiration as well as doing some stretches.
Fantastic. So Hub Sydney's pretty busy and got a bit of a buzz and a vibe about it, and lots of very focused, sometimes obsessive people, all working hard on their entrepreneurial dreams.
It's true, yeah.
So how did you manage to get them to take an hour's break and step away from the desk?
Yeah, I think it was from when I first started having conversations with the staff at Hub Sydney about the kind of community that they were looking at creating, and they were talking about mindfulness and work-life balance and all of these ingredients that I felt that yoga would have a place, and so I suggested the idea of yoga, and they were really into it. So I think the fact that the staff of Hub Sydney were very supportive of the idea of offering yoga to the members, the staff became real champions for the idea, and constantly letting everyone know, and every time a new member signs up, the fact that there's yoga and meditation there now as well, it's actually, people are really interested in that there's these extra add-ons. It's not just a co-working space, where you sit behind your desk all day.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Excellent. And you're also running a yoga studio. Shambhala House of Yoga is run out of your front room in your house. So tell me about how you got that off the ground.
Well, it really started from just teaching my friends. I'm just thinking, I've got access to a space, so chatted with my husband and worked out that we could make this a dedicated yoga studio, and he was really supportive of that. And I was a little bit anxious at first at the idea of inviting complete strangers into my house.
Fair enough.
Especially because I have, at the time I had a 10-month-old baby, and I was like, oh my god, these people are going to come into my house, and I don't really want everyone to know where I live, and
and the baby better stay.
The baby better be quiet. Like, screaming in Shavasana, I don't know. So yeah, there was a few kind of, like little barriers of kind of comfort level that I had to deal with. But I think more than anything, coming out of teacher training, I mean, I've been practicing yoga for a long time, like 14 years, and I went into teacher training not necessarily thinking I was going to become a teacher. I just, you know, after becoming a mom, I needed some time for myself, and yoga was that, and I came out of it and just starting to get a sense of teaching and what that felt like. It felt like home to me, and it really, I was so just passionate about yoga, like eating up my yoga books and, you know, listening to, you know, like people like Richard Miller and Sarah Powers give lectures, and this is what I was doing in my spare time. Like, it just completely obsessed, and, you know, it's my thing. And so I really wanted to share that with people, and sharing that with my local community made sense. So I think that drive, you know, helped me overcome the anxiety that I had about inviting people into my house. And also I'm quite community focused. I love, you know, building community and, you know, creating a space for people to connect, and creating that energy that's more of an experience rather than just like a, you know, drop in, throw your mat down, see you later. And I knew that, you know, by welcoming people into my home, and, you know, we have tea, and, you know, people get to know each other, and they chat in the driveway, you know, when they're leaving class. And then when I started realizing that's what's happening, I was like, oh, this is working, and it feels good. And so started with 6 classes. Started by putting some posters up down at the train station.
Yes, because you've got the train station just around the corner.
So Waverton train station. So realised I didn't need to do anything crazy for advertising. Like, I just needed the people who lived in my community to know that there was a yoga studio opening. And so I put up a poster. This was just before Christmas, so I thought, oh, this is going to be good. People will have goals for New Year about health and fitness, and so kind of made my little poster to sort of speak to that. And I was going to just put my email address and get people to write to me to find out when the timetable was going to be announced. But I sort of rethought that, and ended up getting my friend to design me a little logo, and I just had a single page website. You know, got myself a business name, you know, so Shambhala House of Yoga. It was like a real thing. It wasn't just like weird dodgy home yoga. And so we set up this page, and it was an email sign up. So people could send me their email address, and then I would send them the timetable. And got back from Christmas holidays after about 3 weeks, and I had like 35 people had given me their email address.
Excellent.
And they were like, yes, I want to hear about this yoga timetable. And I was like, wow, that's more than I expected. And then I was like, oh, timetable, like, how am I going to write a timetable when I don't know when people want to do yoga? And so I made a Google form, just really simple, and just there was like 15 different options for class times, and I said to people, you know, let me know when you would like to practice.
Fantastic.
And everyone,
is everybody listening? Listen.
Well, it's that thing of just, you know, making sure that what you're offering is what people want, and the only way that you can really know what people want is by asking them.
Absolutely. So, and it's kind of the principles of that lean startup model that entrepreneurs are quite keen on, which is, you know, rather than go to the trouble of getting the timetable printed and published and whatever, that you actually say, right, well, what are people wanting? And then from there you build it, you know, and deliver.
And because I didn't know who these people were. I just had names, and, you know, some of the names were ambiguous. Like, I don't know if this person is a male or a female, or you know, I don't know how old they are, and, you know, what level of experience they have. So then, you know, I followed up asking them for a bit more information about their experience with yoga, what level would they like to practice, so that by the time they walked into the room, they had already told me what they were looking for. So I wasn't...
They were also somewhat invested in it. You know? Like, they've gone to the effort of filling this information out. You know, it's more than just kind of fronting up and handing over the cash.
And when someone said, you know, I'm keen on a Thursday night yoga class, and then you go, well, here's the sign up. You know, if they then don't sign up, it's like, oh, well, I told you that I wanted that, and now I don't, so I'm a bit of a flake or whatever. But that didn't really happen. You know, before I knew it, I had 6 classes full, 6 students, so I had 36. And then, it started. It had begun, and we got to know each other, and most of those students are still with me. The only students that have left are ones who've moved away.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so
fantastic.
Yeah, and I've had a few more trickle in along the way, but
excellent.
Yeah, I don't really need any more clients. my room was full. So.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, yeah.
So can you give us a little bit of a clue or some insight into what you're looking to do next?
Yeah, so I'm currently pregnant with my second child, so I'm like, okay, yeah, thanks. It is exciting, and I sort of knew this was going to happen. Like, I went to all the trouble of kind of launching this business, and now 10 months later, I'm like, okay, changing strategy. And I think what I'm starting to realize is, as I'm involved in some other projects, I'm a Be Free Yoga ambassador. I teach a monthly class that raises funds for Project Futures to end sex slavery. I'm involved with Off the Mat into the World in a volunteer capacity.
You should totally check that out, by the way. We both are involved.
So it's this kind of yoga and social impact, and how do you find the link between those two worlds, like for sustainability and for creating a more powerful impact, conscious activism sort of stuff. So I love events, and I love speaking and kind of putting on events, and so I'm starting to get a sense of what I might look like as a yoga entrepreneur, and that it's moving beyond the studio now, particularly because in 6 months' time or in 4 months' time I'm going to stop teaching group classes. So rebranding the business, I'm going to rebrand under my name, Kate Alexandra. So this is my first name, middle name. And I'll have the Shambhala studio there, and so people, that'll be operating for the next few months. I'll be taking private clients, and then focusing a bit more on my other projects as well, so Off the Mat into the World, and then events. And I'm also doing some online classes as well. So they're things that I can shoot between now and when I have a baby, and then I can just continue to promote the online classes while I'm, breastfeeding in the middle of the night, like sending out links.
Very good for your Twitter following, all those Americans.
Yeah. So I was thinking, and I've experimented a little bit with doing online programs this year as well. I ran an online program called Winter Detox, which was it was like a 4-week program, and I did a sequence every week. It was a 15-minute sequence for people to practice every day, and people set food goals and a kind of life detox goal. So food detox and life detox, they set their own goals, and then I supported them through a Facebook group to stay committed to those. And then we had the yoga sequences as well that were focused on lymphatic flow and like kind of liver meridians for a detox. And so that was interesting, and I had a really mixed audience, probably half from the United States.
Okay.
And so I realized with social media, Twitter and Instagram, I've got followers around the world, and even on my email list I've got a lot from the United States. So by doing some online classes, I can serve the needs of people who are who have a relationship with me but can't turn up to the studio. So about a quarter of my email list is in the studio, and then everyone else is out there. So I want to kind of offer them some stuff as well. Excellent. And maybe do more online programs in the future. And
great.
So it's evolving.
So what's the immediate goal from that, like from now to get to the online programs?
Shoot lots of videos. And free content. So I've just started making videos. I'm making a prenatal sequence, and I'm making a sequence for sleep, for insomnia. A lot of my students have got insomnia.
A lot of entrepreneurs have insomnia.
Yeah, right. And sequences for kind of stress and anxiety, so general, like really to calm the nervous system down. And so those have come about because of what I'm seeing with my students in class. And so I've just started offering those on my website for people to download. And so it's really the people who know me, who are already on my website and connected with me, who are seeing those. I haven't started promoting it big through social at all. But I think I might go in that direction. I don't know, I'm a little bit uncomfortable with like being a YouTube-y person. So I'm uploading them to Vimeo and then putting them on my website. But I just need to think about that. And this is kind of, strategically, do I want to build a following through free YouTube videos that I can then actually, do something with that following in probably 18 months when I re-emerge from the newborn haze, in terms of offering programs for, kind of some sort of reasonable costs that offer extra beyond just the video. So, online support and, goal setting, kind of that life coach, yoga coach sort of model. Something I'm kind of interested in. But yeah, not really sure. Just starting to make videos and just getting feedback from people. Yeah, so I've sent my prenatal videos out to a bunch of pregnant women, getting their feedback about the level and trying to see if it resonates. And so I think I'm going to be making 2 different levels, like yoga practitioners who get pregnant and still want a relatively strong but safe practice, and then people who've like never done yoga and the doctor's like, oh, yoga's good for pregnancy, you know, those sort of, so it's two very different groups of people, and I want to be able to serve both of those, because you know, yoga is amazing for pregnancy, very different to what we practice when we're not pregnant.
Indeed, and lots of people come into yoga for the first time ever when they're pregnant.
And I think because I'm pregnant, you know, I'm going to be like making friends with like the kind of prenatal like circles up at Royal North Shore and whatever, and be like, hey, by the way, I'm a yoga teacher. Here's some free videos. And you know, and free is great to build people's sense of trust in you, to go well, maybe, or not, you know, maybe they decide they don't like you, and that's great, they haven't wasted their money. But if they do like you and you offer them lots of good stuff, then at some point they will want more, and then maybe people will come and we'll do private sessions in the studio when I'm ready to relaunch Shambhala Studio in 2016 or something.
Fantastic. Watch this space. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Brooke. Thanks
I
for the
look
chat.
forward to seeing what happens next.
Me too. It's a bit of a mystery. It's a bit of a mystery to me.
The best kind.
Yeah.